Good afternoon, Ma. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much
No
for being
worries.
here.
No
For
worries.
this month, we're very happy to have you as our PR Woman of the Month. The PR Woman of the Month is a feature, merit-based identification, and the selection process is designed to platform and promote the results of Nigerian women practicing public relations across
Mm,
the world, while also
mm.
celebrating their continuous relevance in public relations as a female. So we are so happy to have you join us
Thank you
today.
so much. It's an
Thank you
honor.
so
Thank you.
much. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your time. So we have Ayodotun Akinfenwa with us today. Ayodotun Akinfenwa is a multi-talented professional with core skills in strategic marketing, brand strategy and management, marketing, communications, PR and project management, and 17 years of experience in the brand building space. She kicked off her career working on some of the biggest international tobacco brands and campaigns across West Africa, including Rothmans, Benson and Hedges, and London King Size, which she did for 8 years. She was also part of the field team that launched Guinness Origin Zero into the Nigerian market in 2016. She started her consultancy in 2016, working with young businesses skilled in their craft, but needing more know how to build brands or market their services. She and her team have worked with a wider variety of brands, spearheading launches, rejuvenation, PR, and many more marketing projects. She has worked with brands such as Corona School Trust Council, Mama Cass Restaurant, Barrett's Rose, Zafire event, among others. She also discovered that there was a crop of startups who couldn't afford to work with her. And so she decided to train them so they can execute the strategies themselves to grow their business. Since inception, Lifestyle Oz Brand Consulting has trained over 20,000 entrepreneurs and served about 40 businesses in the fields of manufacturing, education, consulting, events, healthcare, not-for-profit, tech, and fashion. She is currently the Global Head of Communications at the Elevation Church, overseeing strategic communications across campuses in Nigeria, UK, US, and Canada. You're very welcome, Miss Ayodotun Akinfenwa. We're super
Thank
excited and honored to have you. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Tell us how you got into the public relations industry. Like, how did you get in? Did you just dive in, or is something you've always loved doing?
Well, I mean, I came into the space, I'll say, I'm not sure I'll use the word accident. I've always, as a teenager, I've always loved just pouring through the pages of magazines and newspapers to see just colorful ads, maybe promoting a bank, a fashion brand, some cosmetics, or maybe your favorite margarine, and then I would also see some of their material as video on TV, and I would see stuff on billboards just riding in my parents' car. And I was curious that who are these guys that are creating this kind of material? Who are these people? This looks like it's very creative, it's very beautiful. I want to be part of them. I think I want to do something like this. So I used to wonder about that. And then I started researching, and that's how I met um, one of my mentors, Dr. Tunji Olugodi, who we used to attend the same church. And then he said, "Oh, this thing you're asking, yeah, I can get you a holiday job," because he was a director in Prima Garnet Ogilvy, um, which was at the time, that arrangement was the biggest agency in Nigeria at the time, if not the biggest, one of the biggest at the time. So, and then I started a holiday job, and that's how I started working on brands. I started getting this good sense of it and all of that. But PR was way, way, way down the line for me. So I started my career in advertising. So, of course, with some research, I discovered mass communication was a very close study program to that. So I studied mass communication, specialized in public relations and advertising. at the time. And at the time, we started specializing. I'd done quite a lot of holiday jobs before it was even my time to do the industrial attachment program. So I was just very excited. I read everything I could about marketing, about brand building, and things like that. It was just so exciting for me. I really embraced the course. I did so well in school because I loved it. Anyway, so fast forward, finishing school, started agency work, did agency work for quite a while. 8 years before I said, look, what I'm doing is good. I have a good job. I'm a brand manager running projects across Nigeria, across West Africa, spending quite a lot, doing just, it was good. But I thought, no, I think I still want to dig deeper into the creativity that I have to offer. And it wasn't just maybe being a writer or designer. No, it was just I wanted to dig deeper, which was why in 2015, I left my agency job, a really good job, and people thought I was crazy, and started my own thing in 2016. And because of that search for creativity, I started blogging because blogging was still hot at that time. So blogging, so yeah, blogging or vlogging. Vlogging is hot now, but blogging at that time, I had a lifestyle blog, and then the love for branding and marketing still didn't stop me. So on the lifestyle blog, I was interviewing people, telling their stories, and then storytelling was now hitting it for me. So I was interviewing people of all kinds, musicians, just big names in media, entertainment, and just other fields, right? Business people. Anyway, fast forward again, I came back to brands. So I started consulting for brands. I just thought, look, brands of all kinds deserve to have their stories told. They deserve to be activated. They deserve to just get some support. So that's why in my profile you read stuff like I worked with small and medium sized businesses, those that couldn't work to pay me, couldn't pay me, I couldn't work with them on a retainer. I started conducting training programs for them, and then in the process of working with some of the clients who could afford to pay me, they loved the work I was doing for them for their brand strategy, figuring out a lot of things for them. How should this brand be positioned? What kind of archetype should this kind of brand, sit in? What kind of stories should we tell? How can we connect with our audiences? They're not saying, we like your brand work. Please do some this other PR for us now. Even for the people that were not asking, I said no. PR might not be my core, but I can reach out to a few friends. After a while, I started reaching out to my contacts and I started doing some PR work for them. Now, a lot of people believe that PR work is just showing up in the press, but no, it's way more than that. It's the things that you do consistently, the things that people see, or the things that the things that they observe about you, and the connections that you make with your different audiences. So I would encourage some of my brands who didn't do things like that. They didn't have a lot of experience and funds, but I would encourage them to hold events, to hold launches for stuff, to do stuff that would generate some kind of storytelling. It help them to tell their stories. So I had a number of clients who, before they came to me, they had zero presence, zero digital PRs, definitely no traditional media. They had no events or programs or contents that could project and build their brand image. They came to me, and in the time frame of working with them, we had built a repertoire of presence, content footprints online and physical stuff. People were reaching out to them to do media, and their brands were just growing. So that's how that's how PR happened to me, or I happened to PR. I started out as an advertising agency person, and then just forward a bit into PR. But of course, also today, my role as global head of communications at the Elevation Church, I oversee PR efforts. I'm constantly looking for ways to tell our story, because the ministry does a lot of work, but we get so busy you don't have time to tell your stories. And I'm like, we do so much here. No. Our stories need to be told. We need to be able to showcase the good we're doing and connect with our audiences so that we can even do more good. So that's my story in a nutshell. Yeah. I can't hear you at all.
So sorry.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing. The part I really admire was when you said you were even doing holiday work even before you did your IT. And we at Nigerian Women in Public Relations, we have a program that is called the PRO Student Campus, to sort of give
Ah,
students an idea of what public relations is in school. So when they
mm,
start practicing, before they graduate, you know that they have upper hand because they have experience, they started building
yeah,
their portfolio.
absolutely.
So that really struck me that Yes, because starting early is very important. And
Mhm.
that's one thing we try to tell undergraduates, because if you start your career early, there's no pressure. You're learning, you're having
I-
fun. And before
mhm.
you know, it's part of you. You just want to
Yeah.
do the work. So I
Absolutely.
really admire that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank
my next question for you is, can you tell us some successful campaigns or projects you've worked on
you.
in
Okay.
your previous roles and currently as the head of communications and manager for the Elevation Church?
Okay. Um, so I have had a lot of experience with personal brands. So people come to me. I've had a few people like that who come to me. So I don't know anything about what people are doing online, no, but I know that I have this. I'm trying to build. I'm trying to figure it out. Can you help me put my stuff together on social media? Can you help me push? I have someone like Mrs. Adefila, Adebola Adefila, who started. When I met her, she was the CEO of Ban Roots Limited, which was the second largest producer of tissue paper products in Nigeria. And at the time, we created all manner of things. We created content. Our website was set up. She launched books, online courses, physical workshops, online workshops, so many. So I'd worked with her through, again, remember what I said about a lot of people have this perception that PR is just media relations, but there's a lot more. Pushing out all the good, doing good, connecting with people is also part of your stakeholders. Just doing things that would, yes, they're projecting your brand in a good image, but you're also doing good in your environment. So she was able to do a lot of that. There were a lot of people who were starting their businesses. She was also called the profitable manufacturer. So she told a lot of people were starting their businesses, but they did not know how to make them profitable. So I worked with her to build her online course, from the content up to the slides, everything. Of course, it was solely our content, but just putting it together, presenting it so that we could put it together as a training package. That workshop was always sold out in Lagos and Abuja. I think she even took it to Ghana at a point. After a while, instead of her even trying to plug her and her children's stories, because she was running a generational, like a family business at the time, people media people now started reaching out to her to just project, to come and tell the story of how to do business profitably in Nigeria, how to be a manufacturer, and things like that. And then she was getting invites from abroad. So that was a great story. And she has since then moved on from that line of work to fashion. And then I still works with her, you know, in that regard, and projected abroad. All our branding work usually, comes from my team and I. Another person that has done well is Dr. Adanijo, who is a cardiologist. Who, when she started with me too, she was just like, "Look, I'm a cardiologist. I'm older than all of you. I don't know what this. I don't really have much presence on social like you youngsters and everything. But trust me, the thing about her is she's one of my best because she took a lot of learnings. And then the way my organization runs is or ran, when I was doing it actively, was that we're not just only putting people in the media or creating content or packaging them their brand strategy. We're also training them to execute things on their own. Nobody can do your PR like you. As much as media people will support you and be there to help you, you have to own that brand. You have to live that narrative. You have to live the story, the great quality story that you're telling. You have to live up to it. And she did an excellent job from all the training sessions, all the content production we did for her. Today, she's collaborating with brands. She's collaborating with brands to create content, heart healthy content. She's known in that regard. She has packages, courses, programs she has launched. Another brand is Axocheck. Axocheck was set up by, it's a health tech brand set up by Nigerians in the diaspora who had lost their parents, and they said, look, there has to be a way to help and monitor the health of our elderly ones, in Nigeria, even if we're there. So we're part of the, project. In fact, we're connecting clients who have similar goals. We would create collaborations, events, media outreaches that'll just help them, tell their story a bit more. So a few instances like that. I mean, recently, at the Elevation Church, I've been able to facilitate a few just engagements for our lead pastor and for our medical outreach. We have such a massive medical outreach, and that story is still ongoing. We have a massive medical outreach and a foundation that does so much for health, shelter, and we're telling the story gradually. We're telling the story gradually. The last time this event held, this our main intervention happened like 2 weeks ago. the director of the ministry, or not, I won't say ministry, of the foundation was in the press, and the outcome, the feedback has been overwhelming. But I mean, the story is still unfolding. Like I said, I'm really honored to be on this platform because, as much as I'm a brand person, PR has pulled me in, and I'm just grateful. And of course, the story is still ongoing.
Thank you so much for sharing. With the doctor, you've been able to build the thought leadership for her. And we see in
Absolutely.
Nigeria, yes,
To
you
come
see in
and on their
Nigeria,
platform.
most individuals and brands do not think that why should I do PR? Let me just do my work. I don't need to tell anybody.
Ah,
And and they don't really know that for you to leave the shores of Nigeria and associate or collaborate with other people in different countries, you have to be known, you have to be seen. And
yeah,
another thing I got from what you just said is that public relations is more than just appearing in the news. Like,
absolutely.
I worked in a PR agency, and you see some brands say, I want to be in tier one, like five. I want to be in tier two newspaper, like
Hmm.
5 more. Like if I'm in 15, I'm good to go. But it's more than that. There's reputation management, there's strategic communications. So if there's a
Yep,
crisis, how do you handle that? So,
yep.
and
It's not
again,
glamorous.
imputing storytelling to build brand loyalty over time. So it's
Yeah.
more than just appearing on the media. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I believe that the clients you've worked with, they'll be very proud because you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
and I just wanted to ask, you're working with the Elevation Church, is a very big one, and you also said you have your team. So we just want to
Yes.
know how you collaborate with other teams and departments
Mhm.
within different organizations, your brand and the church.
Okay, so how do we collaborate? We engage uh um with our, I'll say, with our stakeholders. That's the word. Through listening. So, as much as it might seem like it's just, oh yes, you want to sit in another meeting and you want to collaborate. No, the listening for me is wider than meetings. Yes, meetings and regular engagements, but also just listening to what it is. When you say social listening, you're listening to what it is they're doing around what they're doing. Okay, yes, they said this to us in a meeting, they sent us a brief, but just observing our environment. So, for example, if a stakeholder says, "Oh, we have this event, this outreach, we want to reach out to students in so place," we're also listening to what they're saying. We're listening to what they've done. So, just researching what they've done, and then looking at what the environment is saying about this kind of thing, and we can advise. So, one thing we do often is listening to what they say, listening to what the environment is saying about what they want to do, or what the offer that is on the table. So, yes, that's a major thing. So, listening, because I mean, at the end of the day, PR is about quality storytelling, and also helping them articulate. So sometimes, the question is, how do you collaborate? Sometimes you also give feedback, say, look, this thing you're doing, it won't hit because this is what we're hearing from the environment regarding the matter. How about we make this adjustment in this regard? Why don't we tell the story this way? We know that you love this offer, you think it's compelling, but this might not be good enough. Let's tweak it this way, let's tweak it that way. So yes, listening and just making recommendations. A lot of times the stakeholders might not like the recommendations, but at the end of the day, it's about the brand. It's about the offer that's on the table, not really about personalities. So yeah, that's how we collaborate.
Yeah, I really like what you said, listening, because I attended
Mm,
an event last week, and a
mm,
founder of a PR agency, she clearly said this, that over time you see the CEO, the CFO, they have a message they want to pass, but most of the time the communications person
mm.
passes the message differently. So what she has done over the years that has worked for her, when they bring in new clients, she set up a meeting to hear from the founders and the CEO clearly from them, so that she has an idea what story they want to tell, what they want to do. So she knows if it's thought leadership, yes, this founder, you need to be present for interviews, you need to be present. We are not going to be using your head of comms. So listening, like you said, is very key for her. She said that, and it has is one strategy that has worked for her over the years, because when you listen to the founders and the CEO, you get the story they want people to know, you get who
Yeah,
they're speaking to.
and the
So you're not
why.
hearing, Yes, and their why, yes. Behind the
Mm.
CSR or whatever they're doing, there's a why. And if you
Yes.
wake them, they know how to say it. Maybe not in a rephrased manner. They might go
Mm.
around, but they still keep on saying the same thing.
The heart
She
of the
said
story is
this,
the heart of the story. Yes.
yes, yes. And this has worked for her. So the team is not going back and forth. They don't create a plan. And later I said, this doesn't work. No, no, we can't work like this. This is our messaging. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really, yeah,
Yeah.
it's really important to listen to the stakeholders you manage
Very,
and the brands. So
very,
thank you.
very.
So then we have this question: as a woman in public relations, what is the most challenging part of working in PR and communications? Like, what are some challenges you've seen that if I wasn't a female, I wouldn't have experienced this? So would you like to share that with us?
Female. I'm trying to see. I mean, there are general challenges with being in PR or being responsible for PR in a space where you know there are a lot of other departments that people think that are important. But as a woman, what are the issues? Okay, so you know what I'll say. Let me take it from the general challenge first, and then maybe I can work my way back to the. I don't like the fact that my woman bother me or hinder me in any way. So I'm not sure that maybe because I like to think I'm a tough woman. So one challenge we generally have with comms, PR in any space is a lot of people think is vanity, so you have to quite explain yourself. Some clientele already have a good understanding, so you don't have to talk too much. But a lot of times they're focusing on their, even the best clients are focusing on their bottom line, they're focusing on maybe HR, they're focusing on finance, focusing on all of that stuff. But they think that one is just vanity. They think it's a cost, it's a cost center. They don't know that it's an investment. Please, you just want us to spend money. It's when you have, it's when we have made all the money. It's for the. A lot of people believe that brand building of any sort is only for the big brands. But guess what? Brands are brands, whether they are like this, they are
Yes.
brands. So yes, so that's a general challenge. And maybe if I want to walk into being a woman, yes, people might want to chuck it aside and be like, please, you guys that worry about things like that, it's vanity, all those ones. I beg you, so let them worry about that. But I've never let that stop me. If I need to talk over their heads, I'll talk over their heads, or just ensure that I continue and emphatically repeat the importance of this thing with lots of case studies, So, but I've never let being a woman deter me because I don't see being a woman as a disadvantage. So, yeah, of course, I also work in a male dominated space, but never deterred me. There are women there, of course, but still male dominated, but never let that deter me. Yeah, because PR communications, as much as it looks like a cost center, is an investment in your future. Every story you tell, every event you hold, every CSR sustainability project you support, every cause, every time you have meetings with your stakeholders, town halls, every form of tactic and whatever it is or strategy you put in place is a seed in the life of your brand, and that seed will germinate, one way or another. It's never a waste. It might not bring immediate dollars to you, immediate advertising dollars, or sorry, ROI to you in the form that you know. But say brands are built not once, you build them over time. And then after a while, you find your brand is in a position to be bought just by the trademark by somebody. So yeah, the challenge is just selling the ideas. Most people don't have that understanding and exposure. So that's the most common challenge.
Yeah, what you just said, PR is an investment into the future.
Yes, in the future.
Definitely, it's an investment for brands like the Nike, the Apple. You've seen that
For a
even
long
before.
time. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes,
For
yes.
a long
And
time.
like you said, a lot of people, business owners, CEOs, they do not really understand the impact of public relations. And that
Mhm,
again, we also have a program, a conference, it's an
mhm.
annual conference, experiencing public relations. So we
Yes.
bring in business leaders that have used public relations and what they've benefited. And we also
Mhm.
invite people, business owners, HNIs, founders, to come and listen in to know that public relations, yes, we see questions like, what is the return on investment? This money I want to spend, what is it going to bring? So
Mhm.
the conference is to educate them about the importance of public relations. And this conference
Yeah.
is very important because it makes the work lesser for professionals. So you don't have
Mhm.
to be explaining yourself every time that you have to
Yeah.
do this, you have to
I'm a
do this, you
great
have to
cause.
do this.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
I think
So
so.
it's a major challenge in Nigeria that every time you have to explain why a brand needs to do public relations.
I even think it's a global thing, but different continents, different levels of evolution in the matter. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Then may I have one question for you? So how do you stay
Right.
updated with the latest industry trends
Hmm.
and best practices in public relations? The industry is ever changing. So how do you stay updated?
So one thing I do, I observe. I observe a lot. I observe. I want to know why this person did this on social. I want to know why this person is holding this event at what end. In my mind, I'm mentally connecting the dots that okay, this person is trying to build their organization, trying to build some kind of reputation in this regard. Okay, okay, okay. So I observe a lot. I read stories online. Like I said, I track on social media a lot because a lot of the whatever it's programs are being done at the grassroots or on all levels, they are brought to social. Of course, I network with colleagues. So yes, I observe a lot. I observe a whole lot. I mean, I recently was on the grand jury of the Garrity Awards, and one of the things that we did was to judge PR campaigns from around the world. PR campaigns from Burger King, from Coca-Cola, from Adidas, from Orange, from just name all the biggest brands. And it was so interesting to see the PR executions from different parts of the world and the kind of success that they had. So even after the jury duty was over, I still went back to research. Okay, so why did they do this? They're trying to seek some of their key brand objectives. So I see what they do. So observing a lot. So I research, observe a lot. That's what I do to keep up.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah, research and observe a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
Actively listening, like you said before, it's very important.
Yeah. Social
Yeah.
listening.
Thank you.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So our last question for you today is what advice would you give to a PR professional who hope to climb the PR ladder? So a young female that's just upcoming entry level saying I want to get to head of communications, I want to be like the lead in my organization. So what advice will you give to that person?
Okay. The advice I'll give to the person is to soak in everything you can soak in. Like read as much as you can, engage with people as much as you can. Sometimes I've seen events, even if you're not necessarily invited or it's your not your core thing. I've seen events where you can just observe how things are done. Just you're not working at that event, you're observing. So I say attend event, not party events, like corporate events,
Industry.
conferences, free, paid. Attend events, observe because the business of public relations is you're constantly engaging with stakeholders from all walks of life. And what you find is if you have a versatile career, and you will if you are working hard at it, you're going to meet with clientele from all around, from different walks of life. So people in tech, I always say to people, I've worked with everything from tobacco to church, and everything in between. I've worked in tech. So you're going to work with a wide variety of clients. So be very observant, be very curious, be very teachable. Just watch things around you and take them as data. Take them as data for the things that you do. Also, be very open to just connecting with people. Just connecting with people. So one of the things that I've done in my career also because I was training people, I then connected with Canva and became a Canva expert that likes to facilitate things. I'm glad of that. Canva is giving me a lot of PR work to do in Nigeria because I'm not in Nigeria, in Australia. So I'm doing a lot of PR work for them as well. I've held events for them. I'm holding another one very soon. And when you connect people like that, you find that you need people. You're going to need somebody's contact somewhere to connect with. These people are asking me to broker the relationships with global organizations just because of the connections that I have. So connect with people. You need people from any work, any space. You don't only need media. A lot of people think, oh, I'm a PR, I need just media. No, you need people of all kinds. People are asking me to broker sponsorship deals for them. People are asking me to connect. You need people. So observe, do everything, but also connect with people of all kinds. You're going to need them. I've had clients that had similar goals. I said, look, you guys, you need to collaborate and consolidate on what you're doing. You have similar brand goals. Why don't you collaborate and do something? So connections are everything. Not only media. Media connections so key, so powerful. For stakeholders, people at the end of the day, behind every organization, every big brand, every advertising dollar is a beating heart. So people, connect with people is such a powerful thing you're going to need in your journey. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Ma. So,
Yeah.
connecting with people. When you talked about Canva, I was like, wow, really? Congratulations,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. I'm a
That's
Canva
a
expert.
very
I have a few from Africa. I think we're just like 2 or 3 at this time from
oh
Africa.
wow. Oh,
Yeah.
that's really nice. Thank you so
Mhm.
much, Ma. That's all the questions we have for you today. I don't know if you
Yeah.
have any last words to round up the interview for today.
Okay, so PR is a fantastic, just basically brand, marketing, storytelling, all of that. PR is such a beautiful field. Anybody that's considering it, I think you should follow and act on that curiosity like I did. You would discover so much. For every door you open, you discover a new thing. For every door you open, you discover a new thing. But I always say this to everybody, and even every time we hire a new member of my team, I always say, look, your flair is very key. You're going to need a lot of flair for this industry. If you like it, but you don't have the flair for it, you're not able to quickly connect with people, you're not able to create stories out of nothing, you're not able to strategize, it might not be your field, because it will test you. The work will test you from time to time. So ensure that you have a flair, you have a love for it. It's a wonderful place. And even when the work tests you, doesn't mean that you're not able to do it. I've met so many challenges on my journey that I felt like, I don't think this is your quota for this. But when I press and I find out, I'm actually able to do this. It doesn't mean the fact that something challenges you doesn't mean you're not able to handle it and master it. So ensure that you have a flair for it, you have a love for it, follow your curiosity, and push through. There will be difficult days, but there are also going to be a lot of beautiful days of triumph on the journey.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Yeah, it's important to also have left weight because I can imagine you're working in an agency, the pressure can be a lot and it takes passion to keep you. So
absolutely,
thank you so
absolutely.
much, Ma, for your time. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. All
Please
right,
do
then.
enjoy the rest of your day.
And you too. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.